Hello, universe. How are you doing? Here we are. The end of a very active Tuesday. I think we had a 9-hour day. Yes, it was a 9-hour day. 7 to 4. Pretty much without any work, without any work, without a break. I'm getting more and more ready. And I had a very interesting conversation with Mark, the gentleman who is leaving the assignment that I'm about to take over. Well, let's first talk about moving and setting up a business. Dear God in heaven, I am telling you, I've moved my business before from one storage unit to another and blah da 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 da. But this is a very, and I mean a very intensive thing during the heat of the summer, because I have pastries I have to look out for, I have candy that I have to monitor to make sure that it endures without any major problems the transition process. And it's not easy. It is not easy, my friends. So I've been working on that today a lot. And I don't think I've mentioned yet that I hung lights. The people at Go Store It in Conroe, Texas, great storage company. They're right off of Texas Loop 336, and they are a great storage company. I have had great experience with them so far. Dennis and Dawn, who are the people who supervise and monitor the storage unit, very workable people. They've made my life very easy, and I highly recommend them. If you live in the Houston or Conroe area and you need a storage unit, they really work with you. So I like them a lot. Highly encourage you to check them out. And yeah, real good storage company. Like I said, I highly recommend them. So the moving process was quite an effort, though. You know, we took a bunch of the chips over there. Yesterday, on Monday. We took a bunch of the containers over there, and then today we took over we also took over the other thing. We also took over the carts yesterday. 3 of the carts we're going to use. And we already had a bunch of drinks over there. Although we did take a bunch of drinks over there today as well. But yesterday, we took the carts of the chips that we have in stock as of right now, and just sort of put them in the storage unit after our day, because our Monday was pretty busy. And then today we went shopping. I spent $1,600 on product, which was a pretty intense amount of money to spend on product. It's the biggest I've bought so far, and I'm not worried about it because I'm going to have to do it again. And that's fine. I don't mind that. I really don't, because it's more money, the more income. And we had a pretty good weekend, I think, overall. I think our weekend was pretty strong. So, yeah, we did a pretty good weekend. I'm pretty happy with what we've been doing with, business. The biggest, I don't know where I'm going, sorry, a little rambling. But we did pretty good. I was pretty impressed with us getting all that stuff over. The $1,600 is sort of a bet a little bit right now because I'm trying to buy for 2 weeks out for product. Because we're trying this new thing. See, right now my business operates like this. On Monday, the crew goes out, they check the machines and do an inventory and see what we need. Fix any possible jams, yada 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 yada. Okay? Then on Tuesday we load, and which is what we did today. And Wednesday they go back and refill the machines, which is what Bill and I are doing tomorrow because Roy is taking his vacation this week. So all that said, that's how we usually do business. And then we wrap up our week. And I should mention that when we finish loading on Tuesdays, we do a closing inventory for the week to know what we have left. Okay? So keep all that in mind. What's going to happen now, though, is we're going to actually do our checks and well, not do an inventory anymore. We're going to do our checks and load on Wednesdays or Mondays, just depending on what day works better. I'm thinking Mondays. But we're going to load and do all of our checks and such on Mondays. The challenging part of that's going to be, we don't know exactly what we need. So I've looked back at the averages for sales and what has sold over the last couple of months, and I've created averages. It's a little hard sometimes because sometimes because at times certain items do better than others, and it creates this whole interesting dynamic where I'm not entirely sure what's going to be needed. One of the things that's great about the way we do business, or we have been doing business, is when they go and do an inventory and come back, we know exactly what we need. So when they come back Wednesday after loading, there's hardly anything left in the totes. There's nothing to organize. It's just done. And that is great. Great, 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 great. So I like that a lot. I like it a whole lot. But now, we're not going to have that luxury anymore. We're not going to have that luxury anymore. So, we're just going to have to make guesstimations from this point on. And I hope it works out. So, this evening, I've had very little sleep, by the way. This evening, I came back, we finished at about 3:30 really. I came back and lay down from 4 to 6 p.m. Got up and ran an errand. Came back and started talking with Mark, the gentleman whose assignment I'll be taking over in the next 2 weeks, I guess. And he started telling me a really interesting story about how he had an employee die while at work. Well, he didn't exactly die there, but he died subsequently after that. This gentleman named Glenn was Mark's assistant, and they were loading machines on a Saturday night, and Glenn had been grunting a little bit. Because he was an older person, he was in his 60s, I want to say, and he was picking up drinks and just kind of doing the, as you pick up a stack of sodas or whatever, because Mark would load the sodas, and Glenn or Mark would load the snacks and Glenn would load the sodas. So Mark would, and Mark, mind you, has a sight impairment as well. So Glenn is loading the sodas, and at one point, Mark hears someone snoring. And since we work in prison vending, we always have an escort with us. And Mark was going, "Is there someone snoring?" And so Mark looks over and sees that he can tell shadows and such, and he could tell that the escort was sitting on the left side, but the snoring was coming from the right where Glenn was. So he looks over and doesn't see Glenn in motion, but actually sees a figure of sorts laying on, mind you, I said he has a sight impairment, so he said he saw, a form laying on the ground. And he went over, and Glenn's laying on the ground snoring. And he thinks that Glenn is, asleep, so he tries to wake him up, but he can't. And what I found interesting about the story is that the escort